What happens when the world's most untouchable star becomes the internet's favorite punchline? That's the question people are asking about Will Smith, a man who once embodied power, charisma, and universal appeal. He was the Fresh Prince, the box office king, the guy who could walk into any room and win everyone over. But today, his name sparks less admiration and more debate, scandal, and memes. From Jada's infamous entanglement confession, to the Oscar slap heard around the world, to his bizarre experiments with AI, Will's journey has become a case study in how fast a legend can fall from grace. Back in the 90s, Will Smith wasn't just famous, he was untouchable. He was the kid from Philly who turned rapping into acting and then conquered the world. The Fresh Prince of Bel Air wasn't just a sitcom. It was a cultural phenomenon that made him a household name across generations. He was charming, funny, and larger than life. The kind of star you could trust to make your kids laugh while still pulling in adult audiences. He gave us hit records, unforgettable catchphrases, and that undeniable charisma that made him feel like the tan Superman. And when Fresh Prince ended, he didn't slow down for a second. He took over Hollywood like a storm, churning out blockbuster after blockbuster. Independence Day, Men in Black, Hitch, I Am Legend, The Pursuit of Happiness, Hancock, 7 Pounds. The list went on. He wasn't just acting, he was shaping an entire era of cinema. Parents trusted him, kids admired him, and studios banked on him. He had the perfect brand: a talented entertainer, a devoted family man, and a role model for millions. Even his personal life was part of the myth. Will and Jada were the power couple. Their kids were talented and creative in their own right. J. Cole even rapped about wanting that Jada and that Will love, capturing what so many fans thought was the epitome of relationship goals. But oh, how ironic that line feels now. Because years later, that very relationship would unravel in front of the entire world. June 2020. In the middle of the pandemic, when the world was glued to screens, Jada Pinkett Smith dropped a bombshell during a Red Table Talk episode. She sat across from Will and casually admitted she had an affair with August Alsina, a close friend of their son. She called it an entanglement. That one word would haunt them forever. Will sat there, visibly uncomfortable, while Jada explained herself as though it was just another casual conversation. The internet went wild. Memes of Will's pained expression flooded social media, and suddenly the power couple looked fractured, even broken. For many fans, this was a moment of heartbreak. They saw Will humiliated on his own platform, reduced to a viral reaction face. Others mocked him mercilessly, branding him weak, a meme instead of a man. Still, he managed to hold on to public sympathy. Most of the backlash fell on Jada. People dragged her for being cold, manipulative, and dismissive. Will, despite the humiliation, still had support. He was still releasing solid films, still pulling numbers online, and for a while it seemed like he might weather the storm. But then came the night that would change everything, March 27th, 2022. The Academy Awards. The world tuned in expecting another glittering night of Hollywood glamour. Instead, they got the slap heard around the world. Chris Rock cracked a joke about Jada's shaved head. Will Smith, in a moment that stunned millions, walked on stage and slapped him across the face. The room froze. Was it a skit? Was it real? Seconds later, when Will returned to his seat and shouted, "Keep my wife's name out your mouth," the truth sank in. This wasn't staged. This was raw, unfiltered rage broadcast to the entire planet. That night should have been the pinnacle of his career. Just minutes later, he won the Best Actor award for King Richard, a recognition of his undeniable talent and decades of work. But instead of celebrating, the moment was tainted by what had just happened. His tearful acceptance speech, filled with talk of love, pain, and protecting his family, felt more confusing than inspiring. The world didn't know whether to applaud him or condemn him. The backlash was immediate. The Academy banned him from attending the Oscars for 10 years. Memes exploded. Late-night comedians had endless material. Will tried to apologize in a long, awkward YouTube video directed at Chris Rock, but it fell flat. Instead of repairing his reputation, it highlighted the damage. For the first time in his career, Will Smith wasn't the hero. He was the villain, or at least the punchline. From there, the slide only got steeper. His movies stopped hitting like they used to. Gemini Man, Emancipation, projects that were meant to redefine his legacy, fell flat with audiences and critics. Studios began distancing themselves. Hollywood, always quick to turn on its stars when they become liabilities, started to see him as risky. The man who once defined the summer blockbuster became someone you weren't sure people would pay to watch anymore. And then there was the internet. Will tried to reinvent himself as a content creator on YouTube and Instagram. He posted adventurous vlogs, motivational clips, and behind-the-scenes looks at his life. At first, people loved it. It made him feel relatable and real. But when the scandals hit, those same clips were used against him. His inspirational sound bites looked hollow when spliced next to memes of his broken marriage and the slap. His attempts to inspire now fueled ridicule. On top of that, Jada continued to overshadow him. Month after month, she dropped new revelations, whether in interviews, books, or podcasts. From her memoir Revelations about Tupac to awkward confessions about her marriage, she kept pulling Will back into the headlines in the most humiliating ways. Viral clips of him sitting silently while she spoke became memes of a man trapped in his own home. Public perception shifted. Will wasn't the strong, confident star anymore. He was a man controlled, overshadowed, even embarrassed by his own wife. And once you become a meme, it's hard to come back. As if that wasn't enough, Will's experiments with AI started adding fuel to the fire. Recently, he posted a video of his concert crowd that fans quickly realized was AI-generated. The signs in the fake audience were bizarre. Some said generic things like, "I love you, Will," while others displayed glitchy, warped text that made no sense. It reminded people of those infamous AI videos of him eating spaghetti, which had already gone viral years earlier as a joke about bad AI. Suddenly, fans began questioning whether his shows were real, whether his audience was genuine, or whether Will Smith was now faking hype with technology. And here's the irony. The man who once fought rogue robots in Robot was now relying on AI to stay relevant. What should have been cutting-edge experiments came off as desperate. Fans accused him of tarnishing his own legacy with digital gimmicks that fooled no one. His attempt to stay ahead of the curve only made him look out of touch. Meanwhile, the industry kept pulling away. Projects slowed down. Younger audiences who weren't raised on Fresh Prince or his classic films didn't see him as their star anymore. Their icons were different. Will Smith wasn't their guy, and his attempts to recapture old glory through music or online content didn't resonate. His comeback single, Girls, landed with a thud. Lyrics about shoulders, knees, and toes sounded outdated, almost cringe. For someone who once defined cool, it was a harsh fall. The tragedy of Will Smith's downfall isn't just in the big moments, the entanglement, the slap, the AI stunts. It's in the slow unraveling of an image he spent decades building. He went from being the ultimate safe, family-friendly superstar to a man mocked by the very audience that once adored him. His marriage became a circus. His motivational persona became a meme. His career choices felt desperate rather than dominant. And Hollywood, always watching, decided it was safer to move on without him. So where does that leave Will Smith now? On one hand, he's still Will Smith, a global superstar with undeniable talent, a man who's delivered some of the most iconic performances in entertainment history. On the other hand, his brand has been tarnished. The trust, the admiration, the aura of invincibility, it's all been chipped away piece by piece. And this is where the story turns philosophical. If Will Smith, one of the biggest stars in the world, can fall this hard, what does that say about fame itself? About how quickly the internet can turn admiration into mockery? about how unforgiving the spotlight really is? Because make no mistake, Will's downfall isn't just about his mistakes, it's about how our culture consumes them. The entanglement wasn't just a marital issue, it became global entertainment. The slap wasn't just a bad decision, it became the defining meme of an entire year. His AI experiments weren't just tech curiosity, they became evidence of desperation. At this point, some even joke that Will leans into the humiliation, as if part of him thrives on being the internet's punchline. Whether that's true or not, it's clear that his legacy is no longer untouchable. It's messy, complicated, and fragile. So the real question is this: can Will Smith ever bounce back to the superstar status he once had? Or has the damage gone too far? Is this just another rough chapter in a long career? Or the beginning of the end for the Fresh Prince? Drop your thoughts down below because this is a debate worth having. And while you're here, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and share this with someone who grew up idolizing Will Smith, because trust me, this story is far from over, and the next chapter might just shock us all.